Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Good day, good evening. Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and our show today is A Woman's Prerogative. And in case you haven't heard the news, we actually have two shows on Mondays for A Woman's Prerogative because we have so many topics and women around the world who want to share their experience and their expertise. So let's get straight to it. Our topic today is what I gave up to get to where I am. It's a hot topic. I've got something to add to this, but I'm not by myself. Let's welcome our esteemed panel from around the world. It's Caroline HEWARD. Hello.
Woo, hello. From
Nice
sunny Doncaster. It's very hot over here.
I've been hearing how hot it is. We'll table that for the moment. Let's welcome Dr. Madeline Chan. Hello.
Hello, ladies. Hi, Dr. JACALYN. Hi, Dr. Caroline. Hello.
Nice to see you.
Yes.
And let's welcome Dr. Justina MUTALE. Hello.
Hi, Dr. JACALYN. Hi, Caroline, Madalene.
Welcome, Dr. Justina.
Nice to see you. And let's welcome SWANETTE KUNTZE. Hello.
Hello. Nice to see you, everybody.
Hello, SWANETTE.
Nice to see you all. I'm really excited for this topic. And I came up with it because I think it's important. We question ourselves. Caroline and I just did a show about that. We question ourselves about everything sometimes. Are we doing the right thing? We're planting all the seeds, watching one thing grow, another thing die. And we gave up a lot to go down the journey of where we are. So we're going to go around and have each of you share a little bit about yourselves. But before we do, I want to share this because it just happened today. I got this card in the mail along with this fabulous gift from Penn State. So Penn State is a university. It's rather large. It's in Pennsylvania. I went there undergraduate and graduate. And I opened this box with this card. And I'm going to read it, not because of an ego perspective, but there's a meaning behind it. JACALYN, we are Penn State, Great Valley proud. Congratulations. Congratulations on becoming an adjunct professor. Yes, at Dr. Justina's school. I love it. ISEAS University. On top of all the other things you're doing, we want you to know that your accomplishments do not go unnoticed. And Great Valley is proud to call you an alumni. Out of nowhere, this came. So I picked up the phone, I called them on the phone, and now we have several collaborations we're talking about. And the reason I share this is you never know if you give up. If you stop and you give up, you're never going to know. So I want to congratulate all of you here for everything that you've accomplished. And I know that you're not stopping and you're continuing. So let's start with Caroline. She's going to tell us about where she is today versus where she used to be.
Well, where I am today is I'm not in corporate. And I started a trajectory in corporate because that was the way that the career path was going to go. That was the predestined path. And I came off the path when my father passed away in 2000 because I went into a depression. So what I'm doing now is something completely different from what I started off thinking that I should be doing. And I chose something that worked for me and that I solved a problem and wanted to help others. So I'm in a completely different space than what I would have thought I would have been. And more to the point, I'm actually not doing anything like what I thought I would be studying for at school, college, and university.
Thank you, Caroline. That was so concise. I love it.
Yes, that was an elevator.
Woo, you really nailed that.
Yeah.
Whoops, somebody fell off. Dr. Chan, that's a tough act to follow, but here you go.
Well, you know, mine's a ping pong. Basically, I started off in the music industry. From the music industry, went into teaching. From teaching, went to become a wife. Just doing being a wife, and part-time studying with the Open University. And I was doing all the academic, and I wasn't doing my creativity, which my creative heart is really, I gave it up. And it's only when I came away from my marriage, I started to find myself again and pick up my creative heart and move in a way and in a momentum. Because of Brexit, I came back here into the UK, and then started to start my creative heart, my journey with USA Global TV and Radio, and with singing, writing songs as well as writing content for education, spiritual education, and finishing the book Star Child that I began. So I've gone ping pong. I've done a ping pong life.
Okay, I've never heard that expression before, but I like it. Ping pong.
Me neither. I just thought of it now.
Just came up
ping
with
pong.
It.
Yeah.
Makes sense though. All right, fantastic. Thanks for sharing that. Let's go over to Swanette. Let's hear about where you are versus where you were.
So I would say I went from jet set to burnout to freedom. And not only changed my career, but I also changed the place where I'm living. So I went from Germany to Madeira, where I'm now, Madeira Island, a beautiful place belonging to Portugal. And I had a career as an engineer. I had a career as a business consultant. I had my own company. I had a lifestyle where people would say, this is everything. Like, not today, London, tomorrow, Paris, and the next day, Vienna. But in my heart, it was like, I'm so busy. I'm so overwhelmed with having all these responsibilities and having not really a steady life, because living in trains and planes and hotels is nothing that you can do for a very, very long time. And I did this for, I don't know, almost 20 years. So then it was this one moment when I had 1 week in front of me, like all the luggage packed and all the project maps and the flight tickets, and my body was saying this morning, no, you will not stand up. And it was in the morning, 5 o'clock, everybody was sleeping, and I felt like I can't even stand up to make myself a tea. And from then on, I decided I have to change something, otherwise I will not get old. And so I went into a moment of, thinking about myself, what is it that I want to really create in the future, and went for holidays here to Madeira Island and fell in love with this place at first sight. And then it was really giving up on everything. I closed my business, I sold my house, my horses, my car, everything, and just came to Madeira Island with 3 cats, a laptop, and a suitcase. And now I'm here and I'm supporting mission-driven business leaders to create their own legend.
Wow, amazing. Another amazing story. What
Yeah.
strong women we have here today. I am really honored. I just want to share before we get into it, Dr. Justina's internet is out, so hopefully she can come back in, but she's not able to join us at the moment. So when you think about where you've been and you think about where you are now, you gave up a lot. And you probably continue to give up things in order to continue your journey. What do I mean by that? So for me, I just posted yesterday, I was doing one of my who knows what I'm doing, walking to the gym, leaving a recorded video, inspiring people like I typically try to do. But I started adding up that I work between 80 and 90 hours every week. Sometimes it's more than that. And so what have I given up? I've given up a social life. I have no social life whatsoever. but I am so happy. I can't wait to get up to this desk and start working. So to me, it's not a real sacrifice, but other people think it is. So my story very quickly is I was in corporate and I was there for 28 years, I guess. Loved what I was doing, flying all over, staying in 5-star resorts. I had a jet set life, as my father would say, but I was sick a lot. And then I developed this very weird allergy to airborne shellfish. And where I am right now, New Jersey, we're right across the street from a fish store. So I couldn't even be in my room because my room faces that. Just the smell of the shrimp coming out of there or going through a grocery store, I'd have to have something over my face just to walk past the section. Anyway, I retired, went out on my own, the pandemic, we know the whole story. I have no problem with that fish market. I go right in there to buy fish and none of the shellfish bother me. So it's kind of crazy. My ulcerative colitis, it got bad, but it's in remission again. So I feel like when we let go of certain things that are literally making us sick, that doesn't mean the company, the job, the clients. It just means I wasn't where I was supposed to be. But Swanette, I'm going to start with you. We hold on, don't we? We know we should let go. But we're like, another day, another week. What was your experience?
Yeah, absolutely. So I really was holding on to my career. I was holding on to this life of abundance that I had in Germany, because this was how I was kind of grown up. Like, being a German, you have to work, work, work. And for me, it was clear that I had to reach the next level, like working with even more important clients or getting the next project. And I was holding on to that, but in the same time, I was getting very sick as well. Like I got overweight, I got into this burnout situation, not having any energy anymore. And it was clear that holding on to this lifestyle was not possible for a long time anymore.
Yeah. And when you had that realization, Swanette, was it an epiphany or was it more like, wow, now I know what the truth is and I've got to do something about it?
It was, I'm getting it now. So I have been a coach helping people also to get their own work-life balance, but I was not walking the talk. So it was clear that I had to look at myself and understand, okay, what is it that I really want to create in the future? Because if you are in this kind of hamster wheel, you're not getting it. And for me, this moment of burnout was, this morning, it was so clear that I really need to change something in my life and that I really can't process this kind of stress anymore. And it was a moment like very clear, Monday morning, November, 6 years ago.
Well, congratulations to you and having that kind of strength and fortitude to do what you needed to do. I want to go over to Caroline. Caroline, you were in corporate and you and Dr. Chan were actually interviewed for one of my books, Adversity to Awesome. So I know your backstory, but you were in corporate and you're very well respected. You had a great job. You're whining and dining. You're all dressed up. You're doing your thing. And it wasn't working out for you because things were happening in your life and you had to make some major decisions. I know one of them was a personal decision as well. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Well, before I do share that, I actually want to share something about what the market was, what the job market was when I left school. I left school in 1980, so I'm really showing at my age here. And in 1980, when you left school, you either got married, had children, or you became a career girl. And there was a choice. You either got married and settled down, and then you weren't looked at and you weren't taken seriously. And I decided to become a career girl. So I was a portfolio career girl. And what that meant was I gave up the choice of having a family, being with someone permanently, and giving up, a lifestyle within a partnership and children. And there are as many people in 1980 that did that. And so I strove for whatever I could in terms of the academic qualifications, the lifestyle, the career, the status, the socialite status. And that was wonderful, I thought. And I always used to think, I was in a room full of people that absolutely adored me, and they would kind of kiss me, and mwah, mwah, and like I knew everyone, and it was fun. But actually, I remember feeling more often than not, I felt like I was in a room full of people that knew me, and yet I felt very lonely. And this was something that I didn't understand until after my father passed away. And at that time, I just got married as well. It was the first year of our marriage. And I questioned that as well. So in my father's passing, I questioned a lot of things about my life in terms of what I thought I thought I wanted, but actually I didn't feel I was living. I felt that I was existing. And so, yes, I had the parties, the socialite lifestyle, and, the glamorous lifestyle. And yet, I was earning the money, and yet I wasn't happy. And so, yes, I made a lot of changes, and that's why I looked at Eastern philosophy and Eastern culture. But I changed just about everything that I possibly could about my work, my lifestyle, my social. I even stopped drinking because I was doing so much meditation. I didn't need the wine because I was already feeling high and feeling calm and comfortable. So, yes, I gave up everything, and now I feel much more myself, and I've actually de-aged. I've lost a lot of years off my face and off the way that I used to look, because I'm now being healthier and I'm actually feeling better.
Wow, I love hearing this. Congratulations.
Phenomenal story.
And I'm so glad that you are all here, because you're encouraging other people. Believe me, there are people out there that are just questioning everything that they're doing. They're afraid, they're in a negative place, and they need to hear this. Dr. Chan, you have had a ping pong, very colorful background as well. And you and I talk on a regular basis, so I know what your story is too. But so when you think about where you are today, meaning the woman I met, whom I first interviewed about 1.5 years ago, and the woman sitting here today are not the same people.
No, absolutely not. When I was interviewed first with you, Dr. JACALYN, I was coming fresh from, a divorce, really. And I ended up losing my essence through this relationship. Not saying that it was his fault or my fault. It was just a case of we just had conflicts. We were conflicting with each other. He wanted me to be something else, and I wanted him to be something else. And that's when it doesn't go. It doesn't flow. So then I came over here and started. My life changed, honestly, when I met Philip Chan, and he introduced me to Ian Turner. And through Ian Turner and Helena, I met Dr. JACALYN. And Dr. JACALYN has been my mentor. She has really brought out a strength in me that I never knew was there. I've always been this people person. I've always put many people before myself. I've done this all my life. And I started to repeat the pattern again when I started to bring myself to the public. I started again stretching myself, trying to help everyone and bring everyone up with me. And I found myself depleted, my energy just getting really heavy. Through Dr. JACALYN, she's made me aware of branding, actually branding, to be able to then express your creative projects. So you become the brand, and you've got, like, I'm a singer-songwriter. I write educational, spiritual content. I'm a novelist as well. So all this. So if I'm promoting Star Child, a novel, I'm also doing my singing. And the only way to do that was to put it under a brand. And Dr. JACALYN held me in her arms, like metaphorically, like angel wings, took me under her wing. And I'm still learning. I really am. And I'm open to learning. And my world has changed, where I'm meeting these people as what I met before, people that are big celebrities, big high kudos people, but I didn't think that I was worthy enough, and therefore they wouldn't connect with me. Now, however, the situation has changed. I'm still where I am, as far as events and everything, but because I'm thinking more worthy of myself, they're actually magnetizing towards me, wanting engaging in conversation. So that's a realization for me. The fact that I've homed in on myself, thought myself worthy. And it's a very interesting experiment when you're mixing with celebrities, high kudos people of all different established in film, media, radio, all different, TV, music. When you are not in that place of being worthy, it's almost you become invisible, and it's almost you're treated like you're treated the way that you want to be treated, because that's what you're feeling inside. But at the time you don't realize that, and you think, well, why am I invisible? How come they don't notice me? And even if you talk to them, wanting them to notice you, if you have that unworthiness, that lack, it's an energy, they pick it up, because they've always been around successful people who have had larger than life personalities and can fake it, but fake it good. But I can't fake it. I've got to be real. So at that time when I was meeting them, I wasn't feeling that. But now I'm meeting them on a newer level. And I learned this through Dr. JACALYN KERBECK.
Thank you, Dr. Chan. That's
I owe
very
everything.
nice. I appreciate it.
So much to you.
No, you don't owe me anything. You did
No,
it yourself. You did it yourself. I appreciate that. You know, something that's come up that Dr. Chan mentioned, and we've had shows on, I know Caroline and I have, is about the imposter syndrome. And I think that all comes into part of it as well. We make the choice to change. We make the change. We start doing really well. And then we're like, oh, I don't deserve this, because we're so ingrained in the other life that we had, that in order to actually completely remove ourselves from it, we have to look at, why was I where I was for that amount of time? Why did I stay in that situation knowing it wasn't the best for me? Swanette, what do you think? Why do we do that to ourselves?
Yeah, perhaps we haven't learned how precious we are. I think that during our childhood, we often hear that you will never make it, or you are not good enough, or who do you think you are to do this and that? And this is so deeply imprinted in us, in our subconscious mind, that we make decisions by these beliefs we do have about ourselves. And even if we change places or change our roles or change the business, this is still with us, because it's a deep imprint in our subconscious mind, and sometimes even on body level. So I think that only when we overcome these blocking beliefs, or perhaps even these traumas, we are able to grow into who we truly are, in our genius and in our magnificence. And I think this is the important thing, just not making changes in the outside, but making these changes inside.
Excellent answer. Thank you very much for that. So
key points.
We make these changes, but yet we're living with someone who's not too excited about it, because they liked us better the way that we were. Or maybe our family members liked us better, or our friends liked us better. Who are you? I don't know who you are now. And it sort of tugs at our heartstrings, and we have to make a decision. Am I going to lose Billy, Bobby, Susan, and Joan, or am I going to be by myself like an island? Let's go over to our therapist, Carol.
Well, I've had a lot of experience of losing friendships over the years, because I've changed what I'm doing. And I lost a very, very dear friend after 25 years. And it was heartbreaking, because there were choices that I'd made, and I started to speak up and speak out about wanting to play my part to create world peace. And there was people that left my space because I was talking about something that didn't seem relevant to them, or they didn't feel that it was important, or they didn't feel comfortable with me talking about it. Whatever the reasons, as soon as I started speaking on stage, I lost a lot of friendships. And one of my friends who I did some training with in the energy world, he said to me, when we change our frequency, when we change our vibration, and we step up and step out of the environment in terms of our energy and our vibration and our frequency, it's not that our friends leave us, it's that we leave them, that we change. And so we're not in that space anymore. And I did feel somehow it was an interesting concept. At the same time, I was left with losing friends each time that I made some changes or stepped out of what I was doing, and a focus that changed my perspective and others around me. And then I found a whole bunch of new people around me. And when I lost that very dear friend, in the perspective of being my best friend, a beautiful Tibetan monk in red robes walked into my life and became my new best friend and mentor. And so it had its blessings, you know, in those changes, even though it was always very difficult to lose that friendship.
Yes, you hit the nail on the head. So true. And for me, because I've gone through it and continue to go through it, because believe me, I know it sounds hard to believe, but I have my haters out there. I guess we all do, right? But people who definitely would like to see me fail. I think part of letting go of someone is you have that history, and that history defines who you are, whether it's for the good or it's whatever, it's just the reality. And then it's almost like, wow, that whole section of my life, do I get an F for that section? How do you deal with that? So Dr. Chan, for the times in your life when you look back and maybe you don't have a smile on your face, how do you evaluate the role that those situations, those circumstances, those people, how do you evaluate how it's made you who you are today?
I feel that I've learned valuable lessons from those people that wanted to condemn me, conflicted with me, betrayed, hurt me, abusive. I know this is really strange, but there's power in suffering. And I became powerful because my journey was about experiencing all different types of emotional pain and suffering. And these people, at the time, I didn't, and I never blamed them. But I got the understanding once I opened to my own heart center and became awakened. And I realized they offered to play that role in my life so I can be and achieve the best, highest potential and get onto my divine mission to enlighten, empower myself and help others. And with this, having this, it almost sets them free as well.
I wasn't sure if you're finished. Okay, beautiful. Thank you.
Sorry.
Okay, so I appreciate everything that you're all sharing here today. My next question is, once you have yourself established in your new role and you're presented with an opportunity to collaborate your business with someone else's business, because this happens, especially when you're on television, people reach out and it's like, this is my baby. I don't want to change it. I don't want to morph it. I don't want to bring anyone in. Or maybe you decide, you know what, hey, I do want to do something with somebody else with my business, to put my business with their business or maybe another business. How do you make that decision knowing the journey you've been on, and maybe you're going to question yourself again? Swanette, I see you smiling. Let's go to you.
Yeah, because I had this experience right away. So, of course, I have my own business, but I had the opportunity to create another business with someone that looked very attractive for me, and it was part of the vision I had, what I wanted to create here in Madeira Island, and this was a retreat and research center. That was also connected to a holistic hospital. And for me, it was like, yeah, this is something that I don't want to do this by myself. So having a business partner and having a new company was super, super attractive. And then I fell into this trap, like, yeah, stepping with my own vision back and back and back. So like what I first had in my mind, what I wanted to create, and together with this business partner, I was not able to realize it. So for me, it was a big learning, because I learned a lot more about business and how to set up things and speaking with investors and these kind of things. But at the same time, I was losing my own vision. So now it is split up again, and I'm back in my own business. And yeah, I think, as Madeleine said, there are a lot of learnings when we meet people, when we came into certain situations. And if we can see this and don't see it as a failure, but see, okay, what has been in there? What were my learnings? And how did this brought me to my next level of being? I think then it is important to have these kind of experiences.
Excellent. Thank you. And I'm glad that you could relate to that. I saw the smile on your face. I'm like, yes, she's been here. She knows about this. How about either of you, Caroline or Dr. Chan? Have you had an experience like this?
Yes, I
Caroline.
have. I've gone into a number of partnerships over the years, feeling that always that they were better than me. That was, sort of part of, the grand gesture of signing in with them. And I've always, when I've gone into those partnerships in the past, they've not worked out. And I've always been disappointed that they've not worked out. I've given everything that I could, and they've given what they said they would. And, and it's been different, and it hasn't come to fruition. And my mum has constantly said to me, you seem to keep going after these partnerships and these joint ventures, but you seem to lose your money when you do that. And when you're on your own, you seem to do well, and it's because it's diluted. So it's always a learning and something that moves me into a different space. And I don't regret any of them, because I had to have a go, and it was part of my journey, part of my path to move forward in terms of my business. And I've learned things from each joint venture and each relationship, partnership that I did investigate. It just didn't come off in terms of none of the partnerships actually earned money.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's really powerful. And glad to see that you're great on your own. Dr. Chan, I know when you were active in the music world, you actually had some engagements that's what we want to talk about. Go ahead.
You're reading my mind. We're getting telepathic here, Dr. JACALYN. Big time. Okay. All I'm going to say is I have never been partnership, as far as a business, as far as a brand of mine with them. My partnership is co-creation, co-creating, co-writing. I'm a singer-songwriter, and I've been that for like 30 years. So the magic is being in a room with someone, with a musician, a guitarist, or just, and we create something from nothing. And there is no, at that time, at the point of creation, nothing about how we're going to market, how we're going to do this. It's just pure creation. So that's magic. However, it changes once the song has been created, and then you have to market it, and then you start arguing who's got more percentage of some things. So that would be the conflict of with being a singer-songwriter. But for partnerships, I would say it would be my latest venture, which would be the Songs for You, where I'm working with Music Banco, was a recording studio, and working with other songwriters and musicians and providing a service, a song of life, a life song. So that will be a partnership. And another partnership, I would say, is myself and Dr. JACALYN with the courses for the power of listening. I would say that's a partnership.
Yes, it is.
And a successful partnership. Well,
Yes,
it's still yet to be, as far as the people magnetized to the courses, but the wave is coming. The wave is, we all have a tidal wave. I got a message this morning. We all have a tidal wave, and we cannot hop onto each other's tidal wave, because even though it seems one tidal wave is bigger and we're like the seventh wave at the back, and we think, I got to hop onto that wave that's at the front. No, stay with your wave, because your wave might just be the same, or it might be bigger. Who knows? But you don't need to hop onto somebody else's wave. We all have a tidal wave in its own divine timing. Boom. Sorry.
Fantastic. I don't know where this comes from, but I love it. So we only have a few minutes left, but I want to ask one more question, because I think this is it before we talk about what you're doing. The question is, to get to where you are, you all talked about that. One thing that we didn't talk about is the financial sacrifice, investment, commitment, that as we go through iterations of our life, it actually costs us money. It's not just time. It's not just releasing things. It's actually putting money. And money it's a tough subject for everyone, because we all need money, right? And it comes and it goes. So when you think about the money that you put out to get to where you are you okay with it? Do you have any anger or resentment about it? Or are you in a good place with it? Let's go to Swanette.
So for me, it feels like it was the right decision. There was not one moment of regret to close my business. There would have been perhaps other possibilities to sell it or whatever, but I really felt, no, I want to make a hard break and then start over again with something that is different. And so this old consultancy is not what I'm doing now. And there was no idea of taking this with me. And of course, there was a time when I came here to Madeira Island, I gave myself a sabbatical to really, step inside of my own feelings and to clear things out. And of course, this costs money. Yeah, if you don't have any income in this time, sitting at the beach and contemplating, meditating. But I think that these moments of stillness helped me then to really figure out where I'm going now. And so it's like having this kind of slow waves, and then the next wave comes, and then you can ride the next one and bring your business up again. So for me, it was clear I have to invest in myself for a while before then I can set up a new business again.
Thank you so much for sharing your story, that transparency. I'm going to go over to Caroline now, our therapist. So people have this relationship with money. It could be a really good one or one that's not so good. And I hear this all the time, and I felt it myself. It's like, I want to do this. I want to buy this technology, but I'm afraid to spend the money. Because what if I spend the money and then I need the money for something else, and it goes round and round, and then we start worrying about it, then it becomes like a negative thought pattern and it keeps us back. So therapists, what should we do?
Well, I have a different philosophy on my training. We spend our money to the hierarchy of our values. And my value, I have a really top value in training. And so I will spend money. I will always have money for training or for marketing. So I spend and have spent an enormous amount of money throughout my lifetime in training, academia, careers, in terms of all the courses. So I've always trained for everything that I've done. And I never consider it. It's an investment rather than a cost. And so it is about how you consider the cost, whether it's detrimental. If you say, oh, this is a burden, this is a debt, then you will feel that you're in debt. You know, I've always considered all of my trainings as an investment. As far as the money is concerned, it's always about the value that you give and if you're in the right place as well. And just because your service is great, it doesn't mean to say that the people that are hearing you or you're reaching out to, that they are ready for your service. And so it is that as well, that it's not about one size fits all, because you might have the most perfect service that you could imagine, but the people or the person isn't ready for your service at that point, but there might be in 6 months' time or a year's time. And that's certainly how I've actually considered some of my training, that yes, it's the right training, just not right now, maybe in a year's time.
I love that answer.
Yes.
That's excellent.
That's interesting.
Dr. Chan, do you want to talk a little bit about your relationship with money when it comes to your career?
Mine's been very strange, because being on the island of Malta for 16 years and being in the creative industry, we normally worked where I would go to a recording studio and I would put my voice on a track that they want to. I might not even originate. And at the same time, they says, have you got a song that you want recorded? I said, yeah, this would be great. So it would, we shared our gifts, and it wasn't money exchanged. It was an energy, because money is an energy anyway. Therefore, we would receive what was needed at that time, what was required, but not having money, physical money passing through. And I had this for 16 years. I mean, I did like a part-time job for a stage coach, a performance school and things. But as far as helping people with their projects, and they would help me with my projects. So there was no physical money passed. When I came here, however, it was a different story. I had to put in my money to restructure my children's book. So that was, and I had to think, what do I do? Do I go out this weekend? Do I go out 3 nights a week? Or do I sacrifice? And I sacrificed for a year, which enabled me to have the funds to restructure and re-illustrate Star Child, which is my baby. So that's the world where I've come from. So I'm just learning about this money right now.
Interesting, the different backgrounds that we all have. I love it. And yet we all have a lot in common. So as we close out, please tell people the value that you can bring to them. And again, as an elevator pitch, right? Someone's never met you and they're tuning in and they're like, okay, Swanette, what does she do and how do I hire her?
Yeah, thank you. I'm the Muse of Magnificence, and I'm bringing leaders to legends, which means I'm helping them to step into their immortality and leave a legend in this lifetime. And you can work with me as a coach, one-on-one, or come to beautiful Madeira Island, where we have 1 week of a beautiful retreat, bringing you through this transformation.
And how do they reach you?
Oh, they can reach me either via LinkedIn or other social media, or on my website, which is spiritual-changemaker.com.
Thank you so much. Swanette and Caroline were here last week for our elevator pitch. You did a great job, Swanette. Did you feel like you learned something from that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. Okay, let's go over to Caroline. How can people profit, benefit, feel better from working with you, and how do they reach you?
Well, if you have stress, whether it's physical, ache and pain, whether it's emotional, sadness, loneliness, heartache, whether it's mental, depression, anxiety, stress, depression, whether it's relationship issues, whatever your problem is, and it's whatever you're complaining about. If you're not sleeping, if you're having intimacy issues, I can literally help you bust your stress. I work at root cause therapy level and move you from that stress, that anxiety, that physical, emotional ache and pain, and I move you to a place of peace where you will get an inner calm and an incredible night's sleep. You can reach me on email, nomorestress@live.co.uk, or call if you're international, +44 if you're local, 07523 120 189. I look forward to offering you a free 30-minute consultation over Zoom, Skype, or indeed, if you're camera shy, over the phone.
Thank you, Caroline.
Ooh, you are the queen of elevating pitch. You are the queen.
Caroline, I want to tell you that I seriously think you should work with Songs for You for Bust Your Stress as a jingle. I seriously mean that. I see that for you in the future. Dr. Chan, you were not on the show about the elevator pitch, so I'm going to time you. All right. You have 2 minutes. You're in the elevator and somebody you've been trying to reach walks in and you tell them 2 minutes. Go.
Hi, is your life not making sense anymore? Well, it doesn't. There's a lot of people out there. If your life is not making sense anymore and you've come to a stump in the road, contact me. I am the Creative Heart Awakened. You know what I do? I connect you to your heart. I connect you so that you will connect to your heart and to your voice and finally find out what you want to do in this life and get you on that mission. I will give you the tools. I will help you. I'll prepare you. The rest of it is up to you. At the same time, I can also help you to write a song and put that into a song as well. I am the Creative Heart Awakened, and I am the creative. I will tap into your heart, help you awaken your creative genius, because your creative genius will bring you happiness and life will begin to make sense again.
What? Woo! Have you been practicing?
No, I just transported myself in an elevator with someone.
That was fabulous. I'm very proud of you. Nice job. The 3 of you, excellent work today. I really appreciate it. I'm going to go around one more time. I like to have people just leave the audience with something. Give them some message that comes from your heart that you want them to take away today. Swanette.
So what I would say is a better you makes a better us, makes a better world. Still step into your legacy.
Beautiful. Perfect. Thank you. Caroline.
I would say follow your heart. Step into the space of your heart because your heart knows what is truly right for you.
Excellent. Also, thank you. Madeline.
I would say time to lift up your vibration. Listen to that song. Have a laugh. Have a joke. Enjoy life, even for yourself. You don't have to enjoy your life around others. Do yourself a favor and get into yourself.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And my message would be, stop worrying what everyone else is thinking about you, about what you're doing. Just focus on yourself. Not everyone's going to like you. Not everyone wants to work with you. And people have their own reasons, and that's okay. Give them grace. Move on to the next person. So I just want people to realize that it's not a popularity contest. It's adding value to the people who are ready and interested and open to working with you. All right, that's all I've got. We're coming back in just under 2.5 hours with our next A Woman's Prerogative. And if our lovely ladies want to stay up and keep their eyes open, they can join us for that. Otherwise, we'll be back with Mariska Dupria and whomever else is on our show today. All right, thanks again. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Jacqueline. Thank you, Swanette. Thank you. Bye. Thank you, viewers. Bye-bye.